2021. Ready to call this meeting to order.
Okay, great. Well, so first up on the agenda, as usual, we are approving the meeting minutes. We had a very busy meeting in November and did not get a chance to go live for that one. So we are approving the September board meeting minutes. So would somebody like to make a motion to adopt the September 24th, 2021 public meeting minutes?
Motion to adopt.
Thank you, Michael. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Alex. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Do we have any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, thank you. Meeting minutes are adopted from September 24th. Okay, moving on to the agenda. So we started off approving the minutes. We'll go through a certification update, discuss JavaScript Landia a little bit, have a CPC update, go through the standards working group, and then any project updates, and then give a marketing update. Does anybody have anything you'd like to add to the agenda? Okay, great. Let's get going. So first off, we have the OpenJS Foundation board directory on the screen. Robin, would you like to take a moment to introduce some of our new faces here?
I would. Our wonderful board is changing up a little bit. So welcome. We have Alex Liu at Netflix, Dan Cousineau at GoDaddy, and Shane Boyer at Microsoft. They joined last month, although we didn't have our public session. So another warm welcome to our new board members. And thank you so much for just jumping right in and helping from day one. And then we also, just really on behalf of the staff and I think the board and our community, want to give a huge thank you to Charlie, who has left GoDaddy and to do a new adventure for his career. And I know that Charlie has been with the Node project since the very, very beginning, very active in the JavaScript communities. So really just want to give all of our best wishes and super thanks to everything that Charlie's done. Yay. And we have one new exciting announcement. We have a new person on our OpenJS staff team, Alex Robinson. Alex, you're here. You want to say hey? Well.
Sorry. Yes. Hi.
Hey, Alex.
I'm happy to be here. I apologize. I had to step away for a minute.
No worries. So Alex will be leading marketing and communications for the OpenJS Foundation. And if you know the model that we have with the Linux Foundation is we have shared resources a little bit. So we get a little bit more of a majority with Alex, but we're sharing her with the Academy Software Foundation at the Linux Foundation, LA based. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Robin.
All righty. Heading into the certification update. Wow, it's been busy. You'll find in some of the marketing slides, we've had a busy couple of months. We did update the exam to Node 16, and you'll see some of that content. But of course, the big news this week is Cyber Monday, which for us is a full week. And really, this is where we get primarily the majority of our sales. We have pretty steady sales and discounts throughout the year. But Monday, December 9th, we kicked off Cyber Monday. So it's up to 65% off if you buy those power bundles, 50% off if you buy just a certification exam. And so that runs through December 6th. So if you're thinking about doing it, I would recommend that you would, buy the exam or the bundle this week. We're pretty unique in that you have 12 months to take the exam, but you get 2 tries, which is, I think, one of the only sort of training certification programs in the industry that allow that sort of second try. We also are working through our LIFT scholarships. We had we're overwhelmed with all this wonderful interest on some scholarships for the training and certification. So if you're watching and you've submitted, we're working through those. Hopefully we'll get through those through the year, and we'll announce the awardees in January. I had mentioned our team updated, or the expert teams updated the certification exams to V16. Special thanks to NodeSource and Nearform, who are our subject matter experts on that whole program development, and Dave Clements, who really made that a smooth transition and getting that all up to date. And again, we do offer the program, the certification training in Chinese as well. And there's a separate website in our LF, our Linux Foundation APAC organization, with all of that information. And we also offer corporate subscriptions in addition to member discounts. So lots going on with the training and certification. Any questions, gang? All right. JavaScript Landia, gosh, 1 year ago, we launched this program. It was a lot of fun. We have 450 supporters to date, which is pretty awesome. Building up our swag, which hopefully we'll be able to hand out for real in June. But if you're interested, hit us up. We also have badges for projects. But I know our cross-project council and team will be brainstorming more fun ways to engage with these supporters. CPC update, Sarah.
Yes, so a few updates here. So we've been working on the community fund. Turn my video on. We have, because of assumably COVID, we have some extra budget in the community fund because people traveling less. And so we've been working together to figure out how we want to spend that budget. You know, we've been talking about putting together a thank you program for collaborators, or and doing some research around that. And so we're going to be scheduling a working session to clarify and talk about what we want to do with that budget. We're also working on clarifying requirements for the COC processes. Robin did an audit of projects to see, you know, what their COC process was and what kind of differences we had across the board. We found that 5 didn't have them listed on their repositories, but that was over 30 projects. So definitely positive, the folks that have them. We're working on some guidance around what a centralized COC would look like. Not that we want to override the projects or we'd ever think about, you know, like having some sort of edict that came down about how to handle these things, but more because these things can be difficult, and navigating them when you're a small team, especially folks, you know, in the conversation, especially folks that have like one contributor or are managing a big project with not a lot of folks at the helm. So we've been working on that as well. Additionally, we've been discussing our technical strategy, thinking about how we could be purposeful about adding new projects, you know, being thoughtful around, you know, what coverage do we already have in the areas, breaking things down, for example, of testing tools or, you know, IDE tools or frameworks versus other types of projects. So we've done a lot of work around that and have disseminated all of our projects down and are going to continue thinking about our strategy.
Okay. Moving on to the standards working group.
I don't know if Jory is still with us. Yep, there you are, Jory. Oh, you're, we don't hear you. Nope, we don't hear you. Do you want me? Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So sorry. Light updates this month from the standards working group. Folks are kind of winding down towards the end of the year, which kind of makes a lot of sense. We did get some great designs back from Creative Services for our new standards resource website that we're excited about and are revising with input from the working group. So hopefully we'll have some more brand elements to share and discuss at upcoming meetings. Another thing that we're discussing is our nomination. The nomination period for the tag is over, and so there's a spate of candidates for us to discuss and potentially cast a ballot for the W3C. And then, of course, thinking about what we want to do next year. So, for example, the education was a big goal for us this last year, and that hence prompted the standards website to begin with. So we're reevaluating what we want our goals and objectives for next year to be as we kind of think about wrapping up for 2021. And that's the update from that working group.
Awesome. Thanks, Jory.
There we go.
Oh, Jory, are you still here? If not, we have project celebrations. Well, I know she's driving, so I'm happy to take those. Electron 16 shipped. It's the last release for the year. And the maintainers, and I think we've seen this with some of the other projects, are taking December off, a well-deserved break. ESLint 8.3 was released, and Node-RED 2.1. So lots of great activity in our projects. And if we missed any, apologies, give us a shout and we'll make sure we properly celebrate you on the board and on Twitter and everywhere else.
You might want to add Node.js 17, since I think that happened the month we didn't have a public session.
Right. We have that in our blogs, but good one. And 16 LTS.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's just as important.
Yep. All right. Okay. Marketing update. And this is kind of great when you start looking at sort of where our blips sort of hit. We did miss September, October, so I thought I would just sort of give a quick snapshot of where we were there, and then I'll hit the next one. But we had the open source summit in Seattle that helped drive some strong engagement, especially thanks to Jory, who was on the ground helping tweet. That was great. And we had speakers from our foundation as well, Sarah and Todd on the board. So that was pretty great. And Brian, if you want to hit the next slide. So this is where you start seeing these sort of blips. And I always like to see where these spikes are on Twitter. And I looked. So if you look at like October, remember our jQuery updates where they had what we call like their moment of retro cool. They had some news coverage about the maintainers and all the great work they're doing maintaining jQuery core, as well as deprecating a couple of projects. So that was our big spikes kind of in early October. Of course, we had Node 17 and 16 LTS. So you see that like mid-October range spikes. And then Electron 16 was sort of the next little bump of spikes. So really project driven, you can see a lot of that. We also still have a lot of interest from our certification as well. Whenever we blog and tweet about that, our numbers are quite well. So that was sort of the top tweet for the last month of November. Okay. The only other thing I would add is we have been without a marketing person for 3 months. Now that Alex is here, it'll be awesome. Twitter is a big job, so I appreciate everyone who has that as part of their job. But so you'll see sort of the amount of content we're putting out may have been a little bit lower in the past, but you'll see that pick up again now that Alex is on board. So on our published post, clicks and interactions, you'll see particularly in the last month, a little bit slower. Brian, you want to hit the next slide? LinkedIn is not something I had quite been focusing on as much. Our marketing committee has been having meetings really with it, giving us direction that we need to create unique content for LinkedIn that's more business career focused. So that's something that we'll focus on in 2022. And then I think we have YouTube. Yep, and here's our YouTube. And it's always sort of fun to see kind of what our top videos are for the year. We tend to have a lot of sort of top trending projects that are quite popular with some fan bases. You'll see Mateo at Nearform is at the top. He started a newsletter that's really picking up a lot of speed. So if you don't subscribe to that, I really recommend you do that. But there's a lot of interest in Fastify right now. So that's pretty cool. Michael, yes, project channels. Absolutely. That's one of the things that Alex and I talked about in onboarding yesterday is we don't have the data from our projects. We have referral traffic, but we don't have data. We would have to get that from the projects directly. So that's something on our to-do list for next year. Good point.
Yeah, I suspect the projects would be happy to share that info to have it
Absolutely.
show up in terms of, what was at the top of the different channels lists and numbers
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yep. And I've had a great conversation with the Node project as well. So we could play a more active role in helping them get that over the finish line with the new website. So, we've had a busy fall. Look at all of this great content coming from the projects and the community. So thanks all for supporting us as we, especially without a marketing person on board. Sometimes this content just comes to life with a lot of support from each person working on these programs. Okay, Brian, want to hit the next? Pulled our website metrics, looked at that over half interested in certification. Project page is kind of number 2, and then it's kind of a long tail. So. And the referral traffic. Node and jQuery continue to be top referrals. Brian mentioned earlier that we've been working with the jQuery project on modernizing their infrastructure and their websites. I know all of these projects are always very generous with their space and promoting some programs like events and things like that. When jQuery is updated, that'll make it a little bit easier on the team, but it's great to see all the projects as well as JavaScript Landia kind of hitting the top. Okay. Well, that was kind of a quick update. We covered a lot. We will wrap up for the year. It was a long, fast year actually for me, but we're looking forward to seeing everyone at OpenJS World 2022. I think that's a slide I probably forgot to create, but if you go to our website, you'll see an opportunity for you to sign up. We're starting to collect folks who are interested in receiving more information about the event. In the next couple of weeks, our full-on website will go live with some of our speakers, and then CFPs open mid-January. Probably one question I get asked the most. Alex had a quick question in chat. Brian, the gray piece at the bottom of the pie. Brian, you want to back up?
I was wondering about that too. I wondered if that was like unknown.
I think it was unknown based on what Rachel Romoff had told us before.
All others. Everything that isn't
yeah,
everything that isn't in the
unspecific. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
So yeah, very busy, I think, with Cyber Monday, but yeah, all those projects, hopefully you all get some fun time with your families. Holidays have already started. So anyhow, we're looking forward to a great year, and everybody can stay healthy and start to reconvene again in person. And hopefully we'll be able to travel more internationally as well, which is what we're looking forward to as well.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Robin or for any of the staff?
No, I just want to thank our board. I feel like you're always there for us. You're sort of part of the team, part of the water cooler, hands-on. So totally appreciate everything you do and your support. So have a great new year. I'm sure I'll be talking to you all though before.
Thank you, Robin.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.